Has your dog ever stopped in the middle of the room, staring at an empty corner as if seeing something you can't? Or maybe, out of nowhere, it started growling at someone for no apparent reason, and at that exact moment, you felt a chill run down your spine? If this has ever happened, be careful. It might not have been just a coincidence. Your dog could be trying to warn you about something invisible around you. Many people ignore these signs, assuming it's just random behavior. But what if I told you there's evidence that dogs can perceive presences beyond our understanding? And even more unsettling, what if I told you that, at this very moment, your dog might be protecting you from something you can't see? Since ancient times, dogs have been known for their connection to the spiritual world. Ancestral cultures believe they not only provided physical protection, but also acted as true energetic guardians. But why do they still exhibit these mysterious behaviors today? What exactly are they seeing? And what if your dog has already noticed something in your home that you never realized? Maybe you've seen your dog suddenly stop and stare intensely at a certain spot in your house, as if locked onto something unseen. Or perhaps it starts barking for no apparent reason. Its fur standing on end, positioning itself between you and empty space, as if defending you from something that simply isn't there. Has this ever happened? If so, be careful. This could be a clear sign that something is trying to get close to you. Science explains that dogs have incredibly sharp senses, far beyond what humans can perceive. But there's something deeper, something that has been hidden for centuries. The truth is that the dogs of the chosen ones are not here by chance. What if I told you there's a specific behavior pattern that almost all dogs exhibit before detecting something invisible? A sign that might indicate something is around you right now, and that many people ignore. Today, you will understand why your dog behaves this way. You will learn the signs that reveal it may be seeing something invisible, what is truly happening when it suddenly changes its behavior, and, most importantly, what you need to do to protect yourself if this is happening to you. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you are about to hear may forever change the way you see your dog and your own spiritual journey. Have you ever noticed your dog acting strangely around certain people? Maybe it pulls away, becomes restless, or even growls for no obvious reason. Or on the contrary, it might be drawn to some people as if it already knows them from a past life. This may seem like just an aspect of animal behavior, but what if I told you there's a pattern to it? If you feel different, if your energy doesn't quite fit into the ordinary, maybe your dog's by your side for a much greater reason than you realize. Many people with heightened spiritual sensitivity report that their dogs act as a kind of energetic compass. They feel what you feel. They know when someone around you carries a negative vibration. And, even more astonishing, they seem to understand when you need protection, without you saying a single word. There are countless stories of people claiming their dogs alerted them to something invisible. There are cases of dogs that had never shown aggression, but on a particular day, they positioned themselves in front of their owners and refused to let someone get too close. Later, those same people discovered that the presence carried bad energy, or even hidden intentions. Other stories tell of dogs that refused to enter certain places, as if sensing something their owners couldn't perceive. Some ignored these signs, only to later experience strange occurrences in those locations. Sudden chills, a heavy feeling in the air, or even inexplicable events. But there was an even more intriguing case. A woman reported that her dog barked frantically at an empty room in the house. Not understanding the reason, she assumed it was just an insignificant reaction. However, that night, she woke up with a suffocating sensation, as if a heavy weight was pressing on her chest. Fear took hold of her when she realized that her dog was sitting beside her bed, growling softly, staring intently at the same corner of the room. He was still seeing something there. The question is, what if your dog has already tried to warn you about something, and you didn't notice? The chosen ones carry a special energy, and because of that, they may attract vibrations that are not always visible to the naked eye. Have you ever felt that certain people seem unsettled by your presence even without reason? Or that some places drain your energy in an unexplainable way? If this happens to you, know that your dog senses it long before you do. And most importantly, it tries to protect you. What does it mean when a dog avoids a specific person or place? Is it simply acting on instinct, or is there something more to it? If an animal that loves you unconditionally shows discomfort, should you ignore it or pay attention? The truth is, many choose to dismiss these signs, believing they are just coincidences. But those who truly understand the sensitivity of dogs know that nothing happens by chance. If you've ever experienced something like this, share your story in the comments. Your experience might help others realize that these signs should not be ignored. Your dog could be trying to protect you from something invisible, and this may be the warning you need to finally see the truth. But this is not the only way dogs protect the chosen ones. In the next few minutes, you will discover how they detect presences even before something happens, and what that might mean for you. Dogs perceive what humans cannot see. This is not a myth or an empty belief. Science has already proven that dogs' senses are vastly superior to ours. They hear frequencies beyond our auditory range, detect scents we could never perceive, and sense changes in the environment long before any human can. But there's something science has yet to explain. If this were purely a biological phenomenon, why do so many dogs react to something that simply isn't there? Why do they fix their gaze on an empty spot as if seeing something invisible to us? What makes a dog that has never shown fear or agitation suddenly start growling at a dark corner of the house? Some try to rationalize these behaviors by saying that dogs are merely picking up subtle sounds or scents that humans can't detect. But that doesn't explain cases where dogs react with absolute terror, as if facing something that poses a real threat. Have you ever seen a dog suddenly run away from a place for no apparent reason? Have you noticed how they sometimes refuse to cross certain areas, even when there's nothing visible there? Now, imagine this scenario. A dog is lying peacefully on the couch. Suddenly, without any apparent reason, it gets up and starts barking at an empty corner of the room. Its fur stands on end, it slowly backs away, yet its eyes remain locked on that spot. The owner looks at the same place and sees absolutely nothing. The room appears normal, but the dog keeps reacting. Now think about this. If this behavior happens repeatedly, always in the same spot, is it really possible that nothing is there? And what if I told you that ancient cultures believed dogs were true spiritual guardians? The ancient Egyptians, for example, revered Anubis, the jackal-headed god who guided souls into the afterlife. Among the Celts, dogs were considered protectors of warriors and were often associated with the ability to see beyond the veil of reality. Some shamanic tribes believe that dogs can sense spiritual entities and ward off negative influences. Now stop and reflect. Why did so many ancient cultures assign this mystical role to dogs? Could they all have been wrong? Or did they always know something that we, with our limited perception of reality, stubbornly refuse to see? Think about all the times your dog has shown strange behavior. Was it really just reacting to a distant sound or an unfamiliar scent that you couldn't detect? Or was it sensing something beyond your human perception? Something your eyes simply aren't capable of seeing? And even more importantly, what exactly are they seeing? And what does that have to do with you? In the next few minutes, we will explore the clearest signs that your dog may be trying to alert you to something invisible, something that might be closer than you think. Dogs have always stood by humans, but few people realize they possess a gift that goes far beyond physical protection. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that your dog might be seeing things you can't, reacting to unseen presences, and even warding off something that could harm you without you even realizing it. This idea may sound strange to some, but what if I told you that throughout history, different cultures have always regarded dogs as spiritual protectors? In ancient Egypt, for example, dogs were sacred. The god Anubis, depicted with the head of a jackal, was the guardian of the underworld and responsible for guiding souls after death. To the Egyptians, dogs not only protected the living, but also played a crucial role in the realm of spirits. The Celts, one of the most mystical ancient civilizations, also believed dogs had spiritual powers. They were seen as protectors of warriors and guardians against invisible forces. In their rituals, dogs were often mentioned as spiritual guides that helped drive away negative presences. Shamans from various indigenous tribes share this belief. To them, dogs are beings of heightened sensitivity, capable of moving between spiritual dimensions. Many tribes believe that when a dog barks for no apparent reason, it may be perceiving a spirit or an energy manifesting in the environment. According to shamans, dogs not only detect these forces, but can also absorb and dispel negative energies to protect their owners. Now think about this. How is it possible that civilizations separated by thousands of years and miles all reached the same conclusion? Could it really be just a coincidence? Or do dogs truly possess this spiritual ability? Science attempts to explain this rationally. It is a fact that dogs have extremely sharp senses. Their sense of smell can detect odors in minuscule concentrations. Their hearing picks up sound frequencies far beyond human capability. And their sensory perception is so advanced that they can predict natural events like earthquakes and storms before any visible signs appear. But there's something science still can't explain. Why are there so many reports of dogs reacting to invisible presences? Why do some dogs avoid certain places, growl at empty corners, or refuse to enter specific rooms? Reports from mediums and sensitives reinforce this theory. Many people who work with spirituality claim that dogs are the first to notice when a spiritual presence enters a space. Some of them say their dogs began acting strangely even before they themselves sensed a shift in the energy around them. One medium shared a striking story. During a spiritual session, her normally calm dog suddenly began barking and positioned itself in front of her, as if shielding her from something unseen. Minutes later, she felt a heavy presence in the room, something trying to manifest. Her dog had already detected it long before she became aware of it. Another chilling story involves a man who noticed that his dog refused to enter his bedroom at night. During the day, the dog behaved normally, but as soon as night fell, it would avoid the room and become restless. Curious, the owner decided to install a camera to understand what was happening. What he saw was terrifying. In several recordings, the dog could be seen following something invisible with its eyes, slowly backing away and growling. It became clear that something was there, something beyond human perception. But the biggest revelation is even more shocking. If these stories are true, then right now, at this very moment, your dog could be warding off something negative from your life without you even realizing it. It could be absorbing bad energies directed at you. It could be creating a protective barrier around you. It might even be preventing something from approaching you while you sleep. And the question no one asks is, what happens to that energy afterward? Where does it go? Is your dog carrying that burden for you? In the next few minutes, we will uncover the clearest signs that your dog may be battling something invisible, and how you can help it continue protecting you without harming its own energy. Dogs can perceive things that our eyes cannot see and our ears cannot hear. If you've been paying attention so far, you already understand that they don't just sense energy, they often act as true spiritual guardians. The real question is, if your dog is protecting you, how can you recognize it? Many people go years without realizing that their dogs are reacting to something invisible. They ignore small signs, assume it's just normal behavior, or even joke that their dog saw a ghost. But what if this is more than just a joke? What if your dog is actually trying to warn you about something you can't see? The first thing you need to understand is that dogs have specific ways of showing when they sense something unusual. If you notice one or more of these signs in your dog, pay attention, because it might be trying to protect you. Does your dog enter every room in the house except one? Or if it does it leave quickly and avoid that space? This could mean it's sensing a heavy energy there. Many people report that their dogs refuse to stay in certain areas, as if something is unsettling them. This could be a sign that there is a presence or a negative vibration in that space. This is one of the most common signs. Your dog stares at an empty corner and suddenly starts growling, barking, or even backing away, as if something is there. To you, it seems like there's nothing, but to your dog, something invisible might be present. This behavior is frequently reported by people living with highly sensitive dogs. Have you ever noticed that your dog seems to dislike certain people, even though they've never done anything wrong? Some dogs show discomfort around specific individuals, becoming agitated, growling, or avoiding contact. This could mean that they're picking up on a negative energy coming from that person. Dogs have a natural protective instinct, but if your dog consistently places itself between you and an apparently empty space, it might be trying to block something unseen. This is common in cases of spiritual presence, where the dog feels the need to act as an energetic shield. Does your dog seem exhausted after certain encounters? Some dogs absorb heavy energies from their environment, or even from their owners. If your dog is constantly protecting you from negative vibrations, it's possible that this is draining its vital energy. Now that you know the signs, it's essential to understand what's behind them. In spirituality, it is believed that dogs have the ability to absorb and transform energies. When an environment or a person carries a negative vibration, a dog may act as a filter, pulling that energy into itself and dispersing it. But this comes at a cost. If a dog is constantly exposed to dense energies, it may start showing signs of extreme fatigue, mood changes, or even illness. And here's the big question: how can you help protect your dog from these energies? The first thing you need to do is observe. If your dog is showing these signs, take them seriously. Don't ignore them and don't dismiss them as mere coincidences. The second thing is to keep your environment as balanced as possible. If you feel there is heavy energy in your home, cleanse it. Simple practices like keeping your space well ventilated, burning protective herbs like sage or rue, and avoiding clutter and broken objects can help maintain a high vibrational frequency. The third thing is to take care of your own energy. If you constantly carry negative emotions, worries, or heavy thoughts, your dog might be absorbing all of it. Techniques like meditation, spiritual cleansing baths, and even spending peaceful moments with your dog can make a huge difference. And finally, if you notice that your dog is becoming too overwhelmed, take it out into nature. Walks in the park, contact with grass, soil, and water help discharge any excess energy it may have accumulated. Just like us, dogs need time to cleanse themselves energetically. Now that you recognize the signs and know how to respond, there's something even more important that needs to be revealed. What happens when a dog has protected its owner for many years? What happens to this connection once it passes on? Can this bond continue beyond this life? In the next few minutes, you'll uncover one of the deepest mysteries about dogs and the chosen ones. Nothing in life happens by chance. If your dog is with you, there's a greater purpose behind it. Maybe you adopted it without planning to, maybe it appeared in your life unexpectedly, or maybe you felt an instant connection the moment you saw it. But now you understand, this bond goes far beyond what the eyes can see. He is not by your side just to keep you company. He is not in your life simply because you decided to have a dog. Your dog has a mission beside you. He feels your emotions before you even recognize them. He places himself between you and any energy that could harm you. He is a guardian, a protector, a being that will go to any lengths to ensure you are safe. Many of the chosen ones carry an intense energy, something that attracts both positive and negative vibrations, and dogs are sent to balance this energy, protecting those who have a greater purpose. If you've ever noticed that your dog stays close to you during difficult times, approaches you when you're sad, or somehow seems to anticipate events before they happen, this is not a coincidence. He senses when something is wrong, and more often than not, he takes on the weight of what you carry. If you look back, you might remember moments when your dog acted strangely, as if trying to warn you about something. Maybe he barked at a presence you couldn't see. Maybe he avoided certain people. Or maybe he simply sat by your side on the days you needed him most, without you having to say a single word. Now that you know this, it's time to give back. Dogs do everything for us without expecting anything in return. But they also need protection. They need balance. You can help your dog continue fulfilling his mission without exhausting his energy. Take him into nature, give him moments of rest and harmony. The bond between you is not just physical, it is a connection of souls. And this connection goes beyond this life. Many people say that after losing a dog, they meet another one that somehow seems to carry the same essence. The same eyes, the same habits, the same energy. Some believe that dogs reincarnate to continue protecting their guardians across different lifetimes. Others feel their presence even after they've passed, as if they're still watching over them from afar. What matters is that in one way or another, the chosen ones are never alone. And your dog might be the proof of that. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced something like this? Has your dog ever done something that made you feel like he was protecting you from something invisible? If so, share your story in the comments. Your experience might help others see what they once overlooked. And don't forget, this is only part of the truth. There is something even deeper about the dogs of the chosen ones, something almost no one knows. In the next video, you will uncover the final mystery about the connection between dogs and spiritual beings. What really happens to this bond after they leave? Can it remain alive beyond this existence? Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and get ready, because what's coming next might forever change the way you see your dog and your own spiritual journey. Now you know that your dog is not in your life by chance. He feels what you feel, perceives what you do not, and may be protecting you from unseen forces without you even realizing it. But there is something even deeper, something few people understand. What if I told you that the dogs of the chosen ones have carried a spiritual secret for centuries? A mystery that has been kept from you for so long that hardly anyone even questions it? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to share an unexplainable connection with their dogs, as if they've known them in another life? Or why some dogs appear during moments of transformation, as if they were sent to fulfill a mission alongside their owners? The truth is that the bond between the chosen ones and their dogs goes far beyond this lifetime. Many spiritual traditions speak of dogs returning to their guardians in different forms, different bodies, but always with the same essence. The gaze, the habits, the way they react to you, all of it could be a sign that this connection was never broken. If everything we've discussed so far has made you question your dog's true purpose in your life, then what you're about to discover in the next video will leave you speechless. There is a secret mission these dogs carry, something that directly connects the chosen ones to a much greater spiritual purpose. Now tell me, has your dog ever done something that made you feel like he understands more than he should? Have you ever felt that he knew what you were thinking before you even acted? And even more, have you ever lost a dog, only to find another that in some way seemed to carry the same soul? If these questions resonated with you, then you need to watch the next video. In it, you will discover why some dogs seem to return to their owners, even after they have left this world, and how this could be happening to you right now. Click on the final screen and go straight to the next video. What you're about to uncover may change everything. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I'll see you there.